Thank you, Jackie. Welcome everybody to this third annual Transfer Pricing Conference in Africa. I'm here with my colleague Christina. We're going to be covering two of our main databases for transfer pricing analysis that we have introduced. One of them is relatively new, so we've introduced this database about 2 years ago. And we have one of our flagship databases for royalty agreements, which has been in production, and we've developed this database. It's been around for over 14 years now. Just by the show of hands, how many of you have used a royalty database in the past? Or royalty database? Any particular royalty database? Okay. Right, okay. And how many have used Royalty Start? Okay. One. Right. I can see Brooks there. Okay. Fantastic. Okay, maybe this will give you an opportunity for at least some hands-on experience. It's unfortunate that we couldn't provide a laptop for everybody, but that's something that we wanted to have done to give some kind of hands-on experience. But what can happen is for anybody who is interested in that side of transfer pricing, we can always make a time for you to experience Royalty Start at any point during the year, or depending obviously on your availability. You can contact either myself or Chris, and we can all arrange for that to happen. Okay. So today we're just going to be looking at the process of transfer pricing comparability analysis. So basically, we'll be looking at the functional analysis, what it is, and what is involved in a functional analysis. For example, in a functional analysis, we need to identify the intercompany transactions that are undertaken by the company, to have the basis of comparability, and also to verify the accuracy of the method which is selected. And over time, to consider the adaptation of the policy. So for example, if a company restructures, it's important to then revise the functional analysis to make sure that the functions being performed are not divorced from the actual reality, as the OECD would like to put it. Some of the functions that are performed would include design, manufacturing, R&D, purchasing, and financing. We will look at a test case, very simple test case today. And the functional analysis, of course, involves interviews. And interviews are done internally to ensure that there's an alignment between the head office or HQ personnel and the subsidiary personnel. This is done by the company, but it's also done by the tax authorities. But it's important and critical for the company to do it themselves initially to make sure that there is that alignment with what the head office personnel think are the functions being performed by their subsidiary, because it could happen that the tax authorities would go to the subsidiary, and the subsidiary would probably overemphasize what they do, the functions that they perform, and that may have tax consequences as a result of that. Okay. So we'll look at the risk assumed as well. So this is the process outlined in the OECD. We look at financial risks. I don't know if that is clear enough for you there. It seems a bit small. Operational risk and market risks that are assumed, and we'll see how that would have an effect on the functional analysis that we'll be performing. We'll look at the assets employed, property, plant, and equipment, and also ensure that it's consumer with the business risk that is assumed. And we also now have to pay particular emphasis to the BAPS initiatives, where we have to pay close attention to the legal ownership and also the economic substance